Good morning, internets. It is Monday morning, and I'm just trying to survive it, just like everybody else. I have a couple things I want to talk about today, but first things first, this morning when I left the house before sunrise, it was about 52 degrees, and I had 36 miles of range on the 2012 Chevy Bolt Premium. For those of you keeping score at home, and please keep your data coming my way. It's looking like winter is over here and it's going to be warming up. We have highs in the 70s all week this week, which I'm pretty sad about. I kind of miss winter time. I like winter. Grew up in a place with winter. There's no winter here. But hey, man, it is what it is. But I still want to keep hearing about all your numbers, especially those of you in the Northeast who have some pretty serious winters. I have a couple of viewers in Europe who are still dealing with ice and snow in some of the places where you guys live, and I like to hear about how that affects your electric cars. Today I want to talk about a viewer video request. What do I think of the Chevy Bolt hands-free driving with no pedals and no steering wheel? So like when I get in my Volt, I have both pedals and a steering wheel, and they are making an autonomous vehicle with no, the steering wheel is not even there. It's not even like a car that has the autonomous driving option. They're working on developing this self-driving car, and I was asked what it is I think about it and how I feel about it. So I have two sides of this. So the first side, I have an intellectual reaction to it and I have an emotional reaction to it, and they are diametrically opposed. So intellectually, if somebody were to explain to me, hey, computer technology has come a really long way, and so is GPS technology, and we have all these crazy, amazing radar sensors and sonar sensors and crazy stuff we can put all over the outside of the car, and it can check for the car's position and speed relative to the objects around it, roughly 500,000 times a second, and make little micro adjustments accordingly in order to get itself where it needs to go safely. And it can make all of these choices much faster than a human being can make them. The reaction times are quicker, and therefore we feel that autonomous vehicles, self-driving vehicles, are going to be the wave of the future, and they are going to be safer for people to get from point A to point B in those than it would if they were driving them themselves. Then I think about that. You think, wow, computer technology really has come a long way. I have this amazing device that I keep in my pocket all the time that I can access the sum of all accumulated knowledge for all of human history, for all time and eternity. I mean, I mostly use it to watch cute cat videos, but I have this thing, and we all have this thing. We have access to all that knowledge all the time, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg for where the technology really is. And all this crazy robotic technology from Toyota and MIT, and I think about all these crazy things that are going on, and it's believable to me that a machine built by a team of engineers and a series of computers can do a better job orienting itself than my neighbor who's juggling his cell phone in one hand, even though he has Bluetooth in his car and he won't use it. He's juggling his cell phone in one hand, a cup of coffee in the other, and then he's also trying to eat a, breakfast McMuffin while laying on the horn and swerving around in traffic and driving all aggressively and fighting and racing people to the next red light. Like, no crap. Yeah, absolutely. Your computer can make decisions faster than that guy can about how to stop the vehicle and where to move the vehicle and how to keep it safe. And if everybody were to suddenly have these autonomous driving vehicles, those vehicles could then communicate with each other, and everybody could get where they're going, probably much faster even. The relative speed could be a lot quicker if all of the vehicles were self-driving, and we just all kind of agreed to do that. From a safety standpoint and what that could be capable of down the road, I kind of like that idea. From an emotional standpoint, no, absolutely not. Oh my God, it scares me so bad. Or get in a car with no wheels and no pedals? Are you kidding me? Holy crap. But my control, I must have the control of the vehicle. I must have it all the time. If I'm in a thing and it's moving and I'm not in charge of it, I'm upset. I don't like riding in airplanes. I don't like carnival rides. I don't like it. I don't like being in the back of a tandem bicycle. Not that I've ever done that, but I bet I would like it because I can't steer it. I'm suddenly picturing myself on a tandem bicycle. Oh, bad image. But I don't like it. I don't want to get in a car that I can't personally drive. Yes, I know the computer's smarter than me. Yes, I know it can make decisions faster than I can. Yes, I know it has a better reaction time. Yes, I know that it doesn't matter that it got 4.5 hours of sleep last night because its cat decided to get up in the middle of the night and wreck the house. Like, I get on the road regularly, sleep deprived, having not eaten breakfast, dangerously under-caffeinated, and cranky. And I get on the road and I drive my car around. Well, those are not factors. Those could all be factors. Should I encounter an incident? Should I encounter a situation where somebody stops short and I have to react quickly? All of those things, all of those factors, which have nothing to do with the vehicle, would then come into play. Whereas an autonomous vehicle wouldn't suffer from any of that, and would be just fine. It wouldn't be a thing, ideally, if all the technology were working right. There's also the part of me that secretly is worried. Not so secretly after this video, but now you guys are going to understand that I'm afraid of Skynet, and not like a little afraid of Skynet, but like super afraid of Skynet. And a Skynet, and if Google it if you don't know what I'm talking about. I don't have time to get you up on all of the nerd culture that is contained within. But if Skynet becomes self-aware and decides that, oh, you know what would be really good for the world? No more humans. It would, one, be right, and two, have the, like, we would have given it the ability to accomplish that task. And I'm not saying that the Chevy Bolt that will be self-driven is going to be loaded. It doesn't say that Skynet is a standard feature, but no matter what you're calling it, it's still artificial intelligence, and it creeps me out. Now, I don't know if it creeps me out because, here's a possibility. Ordinarily, when I get irrationally afraid of something, I ask myself, oh, is this because I'm terribly ignorant about something and I don't understand it? And then I go learn more, and most of the time I'm not afraid anymore. So, I'm like, all right, well, let's check myself. This viewer asked for this a couple of days ago, and I try to go learn more about artificial intelligence. And I go and read and find all these amazing examples of artificial intelligence and what we're using it to do. And it's come a long way since the chess playing computer, and this and that. And we have intelligences that we've developed and that can think and learn and make choices, make decisions, and can communicate, and in some cases are even starting to develop rudimentary emotions. I find all that out, and it still scares the unholy bejesus out of me. It scares me to death. So I don't like the idea of getting in a car that can make choices for me. I don't want choices made for me by something that's not me. But again, on the intellectual side, like, it probably works better than my imaginary neighbor that I made up, who is, cranky, probably has irritable bowel syndrome, is just thinking about getting to the drive-through as quickly as possible, is probably texting, if all kinds of distracted driving happening, and distractions can be internal. You can zone out. You could be listening to a song and just think of a memory and not pay attention to what's happening. There's so many reasons that people wreck, and an autonomous car would be immune to all of those challenges. So I intellectually, I really do like the idea, especially when I think of younger family members that I have. Someday my nephews, who are elementary age now, and my niece, they're going to have the choice, but or are they going to have the choice? Like, I imagine a world where they'll have the choice, like, do I want to drive a car, or do I want a car that drives me? And, we'll probably give licenses accordingly. I'm not really sure how that's going to work. Or what is the legislation going to say? Are they even going to permit autonomous cars to replace regular driver operated vehicles? I don't know. But I know that 5 years ago, somebody told me, like, oh yeah, we're going to have self-driving cars that you can totally buy. Tesla's got an automated driving feature to keep itself in the lane and stuff. You just sit there for miles and miles and miles. It'll even change lanes on its own and keep speed, and it'll pass. If there's it'll do all that. And I would have been like, no, you gotta be, that's nonsense. That's science fiction. And like, it's available right now. It's not just on Teslas. Other cars have the feature available too. In some of the higher end models. So we know the way this works. This technology is available in the higher end stuff. And then it comes on down. And the Chevy Bolt, they're talking about making this self-driving thing with no pedals and no steering wheel. And it's already in testing in a few places. We've got self-driving vehicles in downtown Las Vegas right now, taking tourists up and down the strip. Like, that's a thing that's happening right now. You know, there's one on Fremont, and then I think we have another one. And they made a big deal about it because it's first day, like one of the cars, and I can't remember the kind of the vehicle, so bear with me, but the vehicle went out on its own, and within like an hour was in a crash. People were like, oh, self-driving vehicles. It was somebody who was texting who crashed into it, and the car had no way to maneuver because it was butted up against the sidewalk. And like the vehicle worked exactly the way it was supposed to, and it called for help, and nobody got hurt, and it was, you know, safely built. And, you know, people seem to like them. They test all kinds of really interesting things like that in Las Vegas because the demographic of Las Vegas is everybody in the entire world. Like that's literally, depending on where you go in town, you have access to pretty much anybody who can get themselves to Las Vegas and would have an interest to do so. And that's people from basically every country all over the world all the time. So because of that, they like to test things here. And we get a lot of really weird new technologies available to the public. They'll just install places and not tell anybody, and you'll just be walking around, and all of a sudden you're in future world. And that's one of the things that they've been doing, you know, self-driving little trams and things like that to get tourists from Old Vegas downtown on Fremont to, you know, New Vegas on the Strip, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, like, we already know that these things more or less work. I mean, they do. I don't know. I'm skeptical. Every once in a while, I'll be in a place where my phone always works, and I always have 5 bars, and it always has full signal, and it will lose. It doesn't happen very often, but it will just lose signal altogether. And that's not unique to this model of phone. This has been forever since I've had cell phones for the last, you know, more than 10 years. You could be in a place where you ordinarily have signal, and it will just lose contact with the cell tower and with satellites. What if that happened to your car? That's the thing that I'm worried about. I don't really know enough about how this is going to work, but what if it just suddenly loses contact? Because the car itself can't orient itself without being able to ping off of and triangulate various things. Like GPS, it's probably going to, why wouldn't it be cell connected? If it can't constantly reorient itself and that signal is lost, then does the car know where it is? How does it, how? You know, so I have, again, very mixed feelings about it. Intellectually, I like the idea, and I understand the reason for it, and I know that we can build machines that react faster than we do, that can make safer decisions than we can, that are going to be uninfluenced by emotion or ego. There's so many accidents that happen where, like, I saw the thing coming, but I thought I could make it. People still get hit by trains. Okay, this is an argument for why we're dumb. People still get hit by trains. I'm going to say that one more time. There are people who still are getting hit by trains. Now think about that for a minute. You know where the train is going to be! At some point, there's going to be a train on the track. There's the track. At some point, there's going to be a train here. Don't be on the track! Like, it's so easy to not get hit by a train. You just don't be in that one specific spot on the earth. Be in any other place, either slightly to the right or slightly to the left. It's so incredibly easy to not get hit by a freaking train. People still get hit by trains. Pedestrians on foot get hit by trains, and people in cars get hit by trains because they're like, oh, I saw the things coming down, ding, 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 and I gunned it because I was late for, I don't know, Pilates or whatever people are late for, that they feel like they need to race a train. This is something that still happens. People are not smart. People are not smart. I wish we were smart. I really wish we were. Most of us are idiots, and that sucks. And I don't, you know, and some days I'd like to feel like I'm one of the smart people, and some days I'm probably one of the idiots. And that's just, you know what? I'm not smart enough to build a self-driving car. I can tell you that. So I don't know how it works. So my little monkey brain is like, I don't understand this technology. It must be bad. Torches and pitchforks. Like, I have that stupid part of my brain that's like, no, we must have all of the control all of the time. And it's dumb, but I can't help that I feel that way. But like, when I look at things like people still get hit by trains, you think, oh, okay, maybe a self-driving car isn't a terrible idea for the kind of people who will still get hit by trains, because a self-driving car will be like, oh, there's a train. Let's not drive in the path of the train. I'm sorry, this is so funny to me, but it is. It kills me. Like, it doesn't happen very often, but I grew up in a place with trains. Like, the town I'm from is called Sparks. It's called Sparks, Nevada, and it's named after the phenomena of sparks spewing off of, you know, the wheels of the train on the track as they brake when they slow down and they go through town. Like, that's what my town is named after. I come from a rail city, and one of the nicknames for the Reno Sparks area is Rail City. And even here in Vegas, you know, there's a train that goes right behind my father-in-law's house, like, every day. There's trains that crisscross all over town. People still get hit by them. And I don't get it. Like, I grew up around trains people still get hit by trains. It's basically, I digress. People still get hit by trains. We're not smart. I can kind of see the merits to a self-driving car. But I want to know what you guys think. How does it make you feel? And do you have the mixed reaction like I do? Do you have the intellectual reaction of, oh, that's interesting, that might be helpful, as well as the emotional, guttural car guy reaction of, I want to steer my own vehicle. And when somebody makes me angry, I want to speed it up and get away from them. And you know what I mean? Like, we're already having, like, a lot of cars pretty much come with self-park standard. It's becoming like a more and more common feature anymore. But I want to know what you guys think. Self-driving car, yay, nay. Chevy Bolt, awesome car. I wouldn't own one that drove itself, though. I want a steering wheel. I just do. That's just me. Really great question. Thank you so much for sending in that question. So let me know what you guys think about this. If there's anything else you want to see discussed on the show, please go ahead and put it in the comments down below. And I think that's about gonna cover it today. I hope everybody's having a really great Monday. So if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for taking the time to watch. And please consider subscribing right over here. Here's some other things we think you'll enjoy right down here. My name is Catherine with EVs of Nevada, and I hope everybody's having a really wonderful Monday. Let's make it a great week together. Please remember to like, subscribe, and smile.